E, all the above.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to MSP Unplugged's Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Rick Smith, and I'm your host. I am joined by my partner in crime, MSP illustrious, Mr.
Paco Lebron.
How you doing, Paco?
You know what I like to say, Rick. Better than good, better than most. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Any better than it be a sin. This is
Hear
the
that?
place to learn tips, tricks, and strategies to help you run and grow your IT service business. Whether you're a one-person shop or leading a team for the journey, this is the place for you. Now, before Paco and I dive into today's topic, got to get a little housekeeping things done. First and foremost, Paco, I'm going to talk about our favorite thing. And you know what that
Ooh,
is.
jelly donuts. No, that ain't it, is it?
No, that's the second favorite thing. Favorite thing is TechCon Unplugged, which is coming up September 7th to the 10th at the Delta Hotel in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Now, for those of you who don't know, TechCon Unplugged is our annual gathering of IT business owners, techs, and vendors in the space. At TechCon Unplugged, you're going to learn from like-minded business owners in panels, breakout sessions, gain key takeaways from partners and vendors in the community. And my absolute favorite part, and I know it's Paco's favorite part because he talks about it all the time, because it's Paco, it's what?
Where the magic happens.
Where the magic happens is that you get those, one-on-one and spontaneous group conversations where great friendships are built, relationships are cultivated, and ideas are exchanged. For TechCon Unplugged, tickets are on sale now at techconunplugged.com. Take advantage of our early bird pricing of $199. That price is good until March 31st. At the time of this recording, that means we are in the month of March, so you have less than a month to take advantage of that. We do look forward to seeing you there. Paco, anything you want to add?
Other than you better get your tickets soon because they are going like hotcakes. I can't. What's the word I'm looking for? I am surprised on how fast these tickets are actually going. They're very consistent in the way that they are being purchased. So grab yours before we potentially sold out.
Remember, it's New Jersey. Everybody wants to come to New Jersey.
Oh, one thing I did forget. Check out the website. It has been updated. You will now see the sponsors that have committed. More are on the way. We're just trying to grab their logos. And we will have a great agenda here, hopefully soon, with some of the core topics that you all have been asking about to come to the show.
Cool. So again, techconunplugged.com. Get your tickets by March 31st to take advantage of the early bird pricing. All right. Second piece of housekeeping. Well, not really housekeeping, but before we dive into our topic, we are making a slight change, bringing back in an old favorite that we used to do, or that used to be done, excuse me, before I was here. Just basically drop in a quick tip, trick, or story that has happened in our MSP business this week. So, Paco, I'll let you start if you have one.
And here I thought you were bringing back the live call-in show, and I was like, "We do not have access to that phone number, sir." But yes, no. Tip, trick, or story. This week is going to be a story. Unfortunately, and this is basically a little rant that I got going on right now. For those that purchase warranties. I think a lot of us just don't like warranties. We don't care for warranties, but we do express to our clients that they are important. They often make our jobs a lot easier. Well, I have two manufacturers this week, Dell and Lenovo. So if you like Dell and Lenovo, if you'd like to have conversations, would love to talk to you about your warranty program and aftermarket program, because I have built quite some frustration with you all. So the first one is with a client. Went on site. They had a hard drive fail. It was a Dell refurbished system. We purchased a 1-year warranty because it says, like it says in the box, a warranty. We filed a claim. They say, "Yep, no problem. We understand that the hard drive failed. We're going to go ahead and send a Dell technician out and get the hard drive swapped out for you all, and you'll be good to go." Day later, they come out. They swap out the drive, and then I get a call from the client. The client says, "Hey, it's still not working." Well, what do you mean? They were there. Yeah, no, they swapped the hard drive, but it's not working. Well, what do you see? He's like, "Yeah, there's no bootable device found." So that's strange. So come to find out, we call the Dell warranty, and no, we call the technician. My office coordinator does, and they tell her, well, yeah, the warranty covers the hard drive. We don't install the OS. I'm sorry, what? Dell refurbished warranty. Get your act together. What do you mean you don't provide an OS image on the drive of a PC that we bought that had the operating system installed? What? So now the client had to pay for an on-site
we cover the
service.
car. We don't cover the engine.
Apparently, doesn't make no sense to me. Like, you get two keys. Anyway, I don't know what the analogy is to try and spice this up, but it was very frustrating to find out that I paid for a warranty to get the system back to how it was when it was purchased, and you're going to tell me that's not part of the warranty. So I think that's utter BS. So anyway, go down there, reinstall the operating system. Client is up to date, but he had an additional day down because of the warranty that you provide. Needless to say, we will not be purchasing any more Dell refurbished warranties because of this situation. Now, moving on to my gripe with Lenovo. For all purposes, I've been a very happy Lenovo reseller for well over 10 years. They have been great, except for the past 3 years when it comes to warranty services. The first 2 years, obviously in 2020, we all had problems, so I'm not going to knock them from 2020 to about 2022. But 2023, fellas, you got to get your act together. So we go ahead and pay for the Premier warranty, which provides an on-site support emergency for business practices. That's what we purchased. Okay. Accidental damage, the whole kit caboodle. It's a very good warranty product when we had it for a while. Had a client, TPM wasn't working. TPM was corrupted. It didn't want to work. We don't know what it was. TPM wasn't turning on, so we couldn't encrypt the laptop. Create a ticket for Lenovo. They're like, all right, cool. We're going to send you a box. No. We pay for on-site service. You need to send this so somebody swap out that board because that's what we're paying for. After this back and forth, which I don't understand, why is it such a pain in the ass to try and go back and forth with trying to warranty? If I am the reseller, I'm calling the reseller department. I've done the things that we have done for 10 years to prove to you that it is an issue. Don't waste my time or yours. Do me a favor. Follow your script, but understand that we've done the steps that we've already said that we've done. We are the reseller. We're a licensed partner. Again, don't understand why. I get it for regular consumers, and that's why you have to do it, but come on. Anyway, move forward. They finally scheduled, so they mailed the box to us. I'm looking and saying, why the heck did they send us a box? We get them back. They said, okay, we're going to schedule an on-site with the technician. Telling them it's the board. They go on site, apparently according to the client, messed around for 3 hours to determine that it needed a new motherboard. Great genius. We already said that already to you all. Sends another technician the next day, replaced the board. They didn't brand the board, which means they didn't put the proper serial number and everything that you would read off of the BIOS. To then, client says, hey, the power button's not working, and now it's restarting over and over again. We don't know what's going on. Call warranty department again. You got to send it out. Hey, we've already had 2 visits out there. The client's got to send the laptop in. It's going to take 20 days to get the laptop back to her.
But you have a warranty.
I said, what? In the explicitive are you talking about? So luckily we have spares because there have been we store our clients' laptops that either they have transitions from their clients or spares sometimes. So luckily we had a similar unit. We swapped it out. We sent it off to the warranties. But again, aftermarket warranties, Lenovo and Dell, get your stuff together. Very unfrustrated. You know where to find me. ProdigyTeks, MSP. You know where to find us. You know our account numbers. If you're listening to this, we'd love to have a conversation. Would love to do so. But yeah, aftermarket warranties, Rick, I don't know if you mess with them. Pain in the ass. That's all I have to say.
Well,
my story.
Here's my take on that. And I get it. And I know how frustrating it is. The aftermarket warranties we purchase, I use them strictly thinking for a parts replacement or for computer replacement. Nothing else. I don't like client calls me and I figure out the hard drive's bad. I debate whether it makes sense to call them to replace that hard drive, or if I determine the hard drive is bad, I debate whether or just do it myself and get it done, because 9 times out of 10 it's just going to be quicker. It'll be a little bit more time. You got to balance that time, your time versus the client's downtime, as to what makes sense. So everyone does it a little different. So if the computer is shot, then it makes sense that I want the warranty to come in so they can replace the machine. That's what I always look at warranties for, really. Replace the machine or replace parts that are, harder to source, really. Otherwise, I just think you come out cheaper just doing it yourself, and it's less headache. And it just depends on what it is. But it's unfortunate that we go through that, and we because it makes us also look like idiots in front of our clients. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
And that's the worst part. You do this, you convince them to buy it to protect them, to protect you,
Right.
and they buy a warranty and crap like this happens, and sometimes, I'll say this, and I'm not defending Dell or Lenovo. I'm just saying these departments have their way of doing things. And unfortunately, it's more so warranties, I've always been told, particularly when you buy it from stores, are just a moneymaker for the manufacturer or a moneymaker for the store, right? They bank on you never using them, or if you're going to use them, it basically is, you have to jump through basically a group of hoops to get things the way you want it to be. So they sometimes make it more, a lot hard to execute. And I think that's on purpose. But, that's just
like
unfortunate.
insurance companies.
Exactly. There are a lot of obstacles to overcome and a lot of hoops to jump through to get things working right. But, that's unfortunate. I'm going to give a quick tip, which comes from a story, but I won't really tell the story. I will just say this to everyone out there. Make sure when you are selling in your managed service contracts, if you do that, or whatever kind of service you give to a client, they are fully understanding, or at least you've emphasized to them what is in and what is out of scope with your contracts. Because when something goes wrong, you want to be, and you should be, the first phone call when anything that plugs into a anything IT related, you should be the first phone call. But clients should understand what is part of your service contract and what isn't. And I am going to add to this. When clients are inclined to make changes, we should always emphasize this. If you are going to move or change structure in your office that requires a movement or change of machines in your office, that's computers, that's anything that needs internet connection or needs network connection, stress to them the importance of informing you of that. And I'm just going to say that for a quick reason. I had a client who rearranged their office, added some space to their, added some space to their office, moved some machines from one place to the other. Yeah. And because my frustration this week with it, move machines from one location to the other. Now, again, that's your prerogative. What you do with your office is fine. Two things happen at the same time. One, the guys in there doing the work, turn the power off, the server goes down, everything goes down, power goes back up, certain things come back, certain things don't. So an out of scope job is me now being called on the weekend to go and figure out why they're not getting power. Figure out why the server hasn't come back up and the internet hasn't come back on. Yes, I know there are things we could have done, white box, things like that. But it so happened that because the server was shut down abruptly because the power was yanked, it got caught at the BIOS basically, and the client can't see the screen for the BIOS because the service is headless. So I had to go there on a Sunday now to handle this. Now, again, first and foremost, our office hours are 8 to 6 Monday through Friday. That is clearly stated in a couple of places. We will service clients on the weekend every now and then, but that is at our discretion. And if it just makes sense, sometimes it's easier to do work when there's less people around. So we will go and do that. But that is my choice or our choice to do. So anyway, I say, hey, Now, I'm going to be in the area tomorrow. This is Sunday now. I'm going to be in the area tomorrow. I don't mind stopping in just to take a quick check. Client insists that it has to be done today. Okay. This equipment did not go down for anything we did. So this is an emergency phone call, which means you pay the emergency rate for it. Client does not agree to that, does not understand why. You manage the server. So if it's down, if it's down for something that, if it's the failure of the product itself, or of our service, then yes, we are responsible for it. You had someone come in there, third party, they yank wires around, they turn the power off. Now I have to come investigate what's wrong. That is a service call out of scope. Okay, we agree on that. Me being a nice guy, say, okay, I will, and I shouldn't do this, but I did it and I'll admit it. And I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback for this, but I said, okay, I'll meet you halfway. Our service rate on our emergency rate is triple basically our hourly rate. Because you're a client, you've been a client for a long time, I'll just charge you the hourly rate to come out. Okay, fine. Get there, get the server back on. That's fine. Client shows me, hey, you want to see the new work we did? Sure, I'll take a look. You guys are still in there working. Oh, and I'm moving this into this room. Cool. My question, how are you going to connect all this stuff back to your network? Well, what do you mean? In the room you moved everything from, when we did this initial setup for the office, we ran cable for each one of these machines in the line that connects them back to the network so that when you do your exams, they get service back. You can save your data back to the server or back to the client file. You have none of those in here. So again, I asked, what was the plan? I didn't know I needed to do that. Okay. Well, can you come do it today or tomorrow? No. When can you do, well, why not? I need to work. We need to work. And I was like, well, we can't, we have to schedule that. This is not a 1-2 thing. It's not an easy thing. I came here today in my car. So first of all, I'm not prepared. Even if I wanted to do it today or could do it today, we didn't have the capabilities of doing it. But anyway, to make a short story long, it turns out now that this became a bigger project because moving those lines in, adding those, those in plus some new machines means upscaling the equipment. Now we need a bigger, switch.
Oh,
got to add more. The patch panel is full basically because the office was at capacity. We always leave 2 for spare in case something goes wrong. So now we have to basically upscale the switch. We have to upscale the patch panel, which is more work. So anyway, and the client doesn't understand.
You're getting expensive, Rick.
Yeah. Hey, I send the bill. I say, hey, I want to make sure there's no issue. So I send the estimate first. Well, why is there a labor charge? Well, what do you mean? This is the charge for the equipment. This is the charge for the labor. Why is there a labor charge? Isn't this part of your contract? No, it is not part of the contract. My point again is this, and then I don't want to harp on this. Make sure it is very clear to everyone what is in scope and what is not. And I am going to say I am a victim of my own niceness at some time, because sometimes you just go do things. You're in the area, you get a call or a ticket pops up, or you just do stuff for people sometimes just because you're a nice guy or a nice gal or whatever. And then they come to expect that, right? And then so now when you're doing things the way you're supposed to, there's a question. So I just, I'll leave it with this. Make sure it is clear what is in scope, what is not in scope. And secondly, make sure, that times, definitions, all of that stuff is clearly somewhere for the client to always see. That's why contracts are important. So you don't run into these kind of headaches. And you want to be a nice guy, but sometimes you can't because it comes back to bite you later.
Client frustrations at their finest. That is right. For sure. Because I'm going through a few of those myself.
So again, guys, just watch out for that, and both topics today I think are good stories, a good daily headaches we all go through. I'm sure there's some people out in the audience who have some similar situations, but we want to move on to today's topic, and that's basically marketing and how we're marketing our business, or or what some strategies we are using to market our business, or how we're going about it, just to bring in new business, bring in new customers, or whatever. So Paco, I've talked enough. Anything you can get, you got to contribute to marketing today?
So it's funny you say this because we are now kind of figuring out what we're going to do marketing wise. For a quick story for everyone, we were going through some growing pains last year around March or so, and then we ended up stopping sales until about June. And then from June to about probably I want to say maybe September-ish, around there, October-ish. Started going back into the saddle, but then we realized the efficiencies weren't fully resolved at that time. So we ended up slowing things down again, and now we're at that better stride as we started the new year to really focus on a lot of that. So my account executive came back from maternity leave, and now we're starting to get the sales machine going. But with any sales machine, you need an influx or an inbound pipeline of potential leads and building out prospect leads and stuff like that. So right now, what I've done as far as the marketing is concerned is um, figuring out what's our low hanging fruit. What are things that we are either doing or not doing well, and figure out how to utilize that. So first thing is figuring out how we look online. So we talked a little bit about this on the last episode about the branding. Now we're looking at, all right, how are we going to spread the message? What are we trying to sell? What are we trying to figure out on our business? So we're planning to do three things. At least that's the idea, until my marketing strategist starts with us next week, and that might change, but that's kind of where we're at right now. Is the first one is ensuring that everybody is marketed to know that we have our new plan. And so we've recreated our plans. There are now new plans that are available. Update those to all of our current clients because we want to market that properly, and then to external prospects that we have these new plans that are adhering to what the cybersecurity landscape is going on right now. But the next piece is that we know that there are going to be potentially prospects that don't understand that. So now we're leading an educational campaign to figure out what does it mean and how is it impactful and what are we trying to do. And so we're going through this on several different mediums and trying to figure out through video, through email, etc. But really what we're trying to dive into, that kind of what marketing strategies are going to knock both or get two birds with one stone, right? So right now we're developing our newsletter. That's kind of like our big thing that we're doing right now for both our current and for our prospects, depending on how we're targeting. And so that's the big piece that we're working on right now to try and at least gain a good lead list that comes in so that our account executive can do a little bit more research as we kind of flow into building that marketing pipeline. So that's one of the things that we're doing right now, and a little context as to why we're doing it that way. But I'm curious to know what you're doing, Rick, because I know that there has been quite a schmeander of marketing opportunities that have come your way. What have you decided to focus on for the year of 2023?
Well, I'll say this, and then I'm going to ask a few questions. So,
Okay.
one of the things I'm trying to do is using Paco's term. That really, if there's one thing he said to me, and there's been a lot, but there's one thing he said to me that's had a
'Cause I'll talk a
huge
lot.
impact, a huge impact on the way I approach business now, is get to good, right? So we have been focusing entirely on getting to good and not trying to focus on getting perfect. Focus on getting to good, and then make incremental steps in between to get to where we want to go.
And to be fair, it's not my phrase. It is my director of IT operations, former owner of the Maven Group, John Dubinsky. This is a phrase that he has implemented and really emphasized on our business, and that's where the phrase came from. So I cannot take credit for it. That is totally him internally here, but just wanted to give credit where credit is due.
Okay. Well, I got it from Paco, who got it from John. So I'll give them both credit. I'll give them both credit. And so when I say that we're working on, actually probably at the time of this recording, we'll be releasing a new website, right? That's our first, we talked about branding last week. So that's our first piece of marketing we're using. It's just having an up-to-date, clearly spelled out label website. Now, again, that's not going to be the finished product, but it is going to be good enough to get from it what we need. And then we will add to it as we need to get to that next stage on it. So that's the first thing. And the next thing we're doing as far as marketing goes is we're starting internal. Everything is internal first. So we realize that there are a lot of products, a lot of situations, even going back to what I just talked about the situation with the clients, not necessarily knowing what's in scope and what's out. So that's really our focus, is that internal marketing first. So all our current clients, we've been doing an evaluation. What is it that we offer that they're not taking advantage of, right? What is it that we offer that we've tried to get them to, we try to get them to take that they've said no to? What is it that we could be offering, or what advice, what could we be doing better, basically, to have a better relationship with this client, to make the situation better, right? Some of those things include, again, products and services we offer that we have not offered to them for whatever reason. Products and services we've told them they should have, they haven't had. And the third thing, let's leave it at those two. 3 things we've come up with. Like Paco's talking about, reintroducing the contracts. VoIP phone systems is another big one. And the third one, we don't necessarily make a profit from, but I think it's extremely important to help with the relationship, is cybersecurity insurance. So I feel like we have not pushed those 3 things enough to our current clients, the importance or the fact that we can help with that. Of course, we don't offer cybersecurity insurance, but we do offer, referrals out, or just a recommendation that you get it, and we have the knowledge to tell them why it's important, right? So that is a big kick for us, a big marketing push for us internally for that part. Second is VoIP phone systems. We have a lot of clients who complain about phones, and we just don't push the VoIP. We just never have. And now I'm doing a VoIP phone campaign. That's only internally as of now. So just to get those people, because there's nothing worse. Again, we talked about people making changes to the network and not telling you. There's nothing worse than walking in and a client has got new VoIP service from their local ISP, or some other guy who pitched it to them, in a group, in one of their trade groups, organizations, or whatever, and that's what they're going with, and you offer the same, if not similar, product. So basically taking advantage of having your clients, they call it sticky. I just don't like that word, like that, creating all these webs that make it harder for a client to leave you because you have so many things intertwined. I don't like that, because it while true, it sounds sleazy, and I don't want to be that guy. But the truth of the matter is, if anything gets plugged in, we should know about it, and we should be able to, we're going to eventually, when something goes wrong, get called. Because if you do have a client who has VoIP and it's not with you, if it goes down, who do they call?
They're going to call you.
Right? They call you, and then you tell them the age-old thing. You have to call the VoIP company for that. And then there's a back and forth. Oh, they said to call you. Same thing that happens when somebody leases a copier. And I'm not, telling you to lease a copier, but it's just, it's just the same thing. It always goes back and forth. Well, that's an IT problem. It's not necessarily our problem. So if you are, If you are a part of that, then you're the one-stop shop to get everything done. And that's really what we want. So that's our first part of marketing. Now, I'm going to leave it there as far as what we're doing or what our immediate plans are. And I'm going to ask a question. And, we've had some people on, and we plan to have some other people, on the show who are marketing, quote unquote gurus or, are doing well with marketing, or have some great ideas for marketing your MSP business. But my question to you, Paco, is, do you feel the need to bring in a third party? There's two ways, a couple of ways to go about this. You can hire a third party to handle all of your marketing. You can, that's basically outsourcing your market. You can contract with someone to help you do marketing, or you can just take some ideas and run your own marketing campaign. Now, I could give an example of all three, but I think I've said that right. I've broken it down into the three ways it can be done. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think you have. Hate you for this, because I might have feelings.
I'll answer first if you want.
No, it's fine. I think so. It's the stupid phrase that we always use, and it depends, right? And I think that you should not hire an outsourced marketing company unless you have a clear goal of what you're trying to do. That's A. And if you say, yeah, get clients in, you have not scratched the surface. There are so many resources and availability, tools, things that people have given out to help you with your marketing for free. That if you do not put the time in for that, to get the base foundation for your business, you should not be hiring outsourced marketing, because you don't know what you're hiring for. If because there's different phases of marketing is what people don't understand. And sometimes people don't even understand that sales and marketing are two separate things as well. So the first question would be should you hire an outsourced marketing? I think you need to know what you're doing. You need to figure out what you're trying to implement. If you do not know, and it's because you truly don't know what to do, then you want to make sure you have at least somebody that's experienced to ask the questions. And again, there's plenty of great subject matter experts here that have their own creative services, their own marketing agencies, but are willing to help you, right? So there's like Matt Rodella over at Tech Marketing Engine. There's Tahir over at MSP Bootcamp. Was it MSP Bootcamp or MSP Camp? MSP Camp. There are quite a few out there that are willing to give you information without having to sell you their services, right? On understanding what you need from marketing. And I think from there, you can then pull those pieces of, all right, I want to focus on this. I need to figure out X. Then you find a marketing firm that can help you, right? So for example, for me, I'm focusing on local marketing. So I want to try and build up our presence locally to kind of gravitate those clients and unseat those incumbents. So how do I do that? So I'm going to do a local marketing strategy. I've always been a big proponent of reviews, but the second piece that a lot of people fail at marketing is time. And they don't have the time to invest, whether they are working with an outsourced company because they want to set it and forget it, or they don't have the time themselves to even go through this whole process. So for me, I don't have the time. So then that's when I would leverage Tech Marketing Engine's Tech Reputation, which they automate the review process for me and being able to post and obtain them. And there's work involved, but it allows me to have that as a piece so that I don't have to worry about it. Same as you trying to have to worry about billing and charging your clients for their invoices, collecting their payments, charging them on time, making sure that the cash flow is there for your expenses. That's one less thing you have to worry about with the automated process. So those are two things to really focus on is like, do you know what you want? Do you have the time to focus on what you want? And most importantly, if you can't figure out what you want to do and you just want to do a set it and forget it type of situation, there is no one that's going to know more about what you offer as your business than yourself. So you have to be involved in the process. If you are not involved in the process, you're going to get some cookie cutter type situation or a customized solution of what is assumed your business is doing. And now you're spending money month over month, not getting results that you feel are important. And now are blaming the third party agency. And now you just say, outsource marketing doesn't work, which is unfortunately crap because you just don't know what you were looking for. Now, there are bad marketing services that are out there. Some that are no longer in the industry anymore, right? And so, there are those that don't focus on the proper um, needs of the size of a IT business owner, IT business. So that's my long-winded of covering all three of those areas. But it's really where it comes down to is knowing what you want, being able to have the time to implement, and really making sure you're involved and being able to explain what you're looking to get. Because if you don't and you fail on the last two, you're just not going to get a great marketing experience for the business, for yourself, for the vendor, and for the client themselves.
Fair enough. Now, I look at it and I ask these couple of questions. And again, it goes back to the same thing you said. What do you want? The first question you have to ask yourself is, what do you want to get out of it? Right. And how do you want, how do you want to be perceived? How do you want this to be perceived, what you're doing? There's again, a marketing agency. And I'm going to use I listened to Tahir's podcast, No Fluff MSP Marketing. One of the things he talks about, excuse me, is the fact that hiring a larger agency and you expect them to know, you can't expect them to know your business better than you do. You can't expect them to craft your message better than you would, right? Particularly, they do this for a living, and this is not to knock them because they're professionals and they do a job, but they can't spend as much time on your marketing if they got 20 clients. If you spent, they're not going to spend as much time on your marketing, more time on that than they would any other client, right? So basically what you end up getting is that cookie cutter marketing process. So it's whatever with Renactus technology stuck on it here. And then whatever, the same whatever with ProdigyTeks name stuck on it here. What that doesn't do is give you the personalized message you're trying to get across to your clients, first and foremost. Secondly, in my opinion, again, if you're doing any of this stuff for SEO purposes, if you're doing it, to help grow your presence or your website for for recognition, it's not authentic because it's the same message to everyone. So that becomes, an issue. You can't, they tell you, I guess, if you use a marketing agency or you use a service that gives you, that writes out stuff for you, and if it goes to everyone, if it's not personal, if it's not written specifically for you, then you tell the bots not to follow it or not to list it, something like that, so that you don't get basically dinged for SEO because that content is already out for everyone, right? So that's one of the things you got to think about. Now, what I like about the smaller firms who will do, one of two things will happen. Some of them will do personalized stuff just for you. It may cost more, it may not. I don't necessarily know about the cost portion of this, but if they're going to do it just for you, then that's one thing. I think the better route is if you can use something like, we can all use templates to get ideas from, and you can probably spend a little bit of money hiring someone maybe part-time to go through it and rewrite it or change it to your point of view, or you can do that, rewrite it, change it to your point of view,
Or ask
all your
ChatGPT.
yeah, but I'm sure at some point Google's going to figure out a way to determine what came from ChatGPT and what came from your brain. So, but again, I think with all of this, we always talk about this, and I live by this and I understand people buy from people, right? You do business with people you know, like, and trust. I know, like, and trust Paco, but I don't do business exactly the same way he does. I don't necessarily communicate with my clients the same way he does. So he and I doing the same piece of marketing, putting it out the same way. I'm not, either Paco's not speaking in my voice. I can't speak in Paco's voice, and neither can he speak in mine. So that personality needs to come through in your marketing. So I don't see anything wrong with taking templates, but I do say you can't take it, slap your name on it, and send it out. I think you personalize it. What I think templates do that people, I'm not going to speak for Tech Market Engine because I don't use them, so I'm not really sure how it's done. But I know at the Tech Tribe, I'm a member of the Tech Tribe, and I know we get, Tech Tribe offers a monthly marketing pack, right? Which is awesome. It's actually, I think, in conjunction with Tech Marketing Engine. But I'm also I do subscribe to Tahir's MSP Camp. He gives a lot of great templates. I also subscribe to Paul Green's MSP and Marketing Edge. Now, do I need all three? Probably not. But what happens is I get from those three, I get a cross section of ideas. I can take those ideas, make them mine, combine some of them maybe, and then the marketing is, I'm using those ideas, but changing it to do it presenting it in my speak. And I think that is probably the most authentic, well, the second best. The other way is just doing it all yourself, which I don't think I personally don't have the time or
Nobody got time for that.
Right. Or the imaginative skills to come up with these great campaigns or written these certain ways, or, so I think that is really a place. I think that is the most useful place for a lot of these companies is they do take the time. This was makes it worth it. They take the time to put together, the nice infographics, to put together the nice layout of the templates, that you would use for marketing. And it's your job to take the time now to put that into Renactus speak or the ProdigyTeks speak or your MSP speak, however you speak to your clients, so it is true and authentic. And the other thing is, I would encourage everybody, if you are subscribing to anything and it goes out, read it. Read it. There's nothing. Read it first before it goes out. There's nothing worse than having something automatically go out to your clients and they say, "Hey, I got this, I got that," and you're like, "Huh?" Or because
or it talks about a service, right? Or it talks about a service, or it's like, "Hey, contact us about what up is whatever," and then it's like they brought it up to you like, "Hey, we want to get involved in the security awareness training," and you're vetting your vendors at the moment, and you're like, what do you mean the security awareness training? Where'd you see that? Oh, from your post, and it said it came from you. Yeah, I've had a couple of those come up to me.
And that's why it's important. That goes back to your authenticity of it all. But that is absolutely important. Know what's going out. Make sure, this is where, maybe having a part-time marketing coordinator, somebody, and that doesn't have to be anybody that's necessarily a professional marketer, but, they know what's happening and they can at least inform you. So you can at least say, "Hey, no, yes, or no, this should go out." So you're not caught off guard.
And Tahir has a great guide on the MSP boot camp as well, or MSP camp on his website right now, and I believe it's free if you sign up. So it'll talk to you about onboarding a marketing intern or talking about a marketing intern as well.
Yeah, and see, those things are just, again, there are a lot of resources out there for free that we can be using. Now, MSP, wow. MSP Camp has, a paid and a free version, but again, it's not my job here to tell you what you should be using or shouldn't be using.
We're gonna tell them, damn it. No, I'm kidding.
I just tell you what I'm using and what works, and and in those times when they don't work, you'll hear us telling you that too. But I just think that one of the things we have to work on in our marketing for every company is authenticity, because that is really what, in the end, our clients buy us. They don't buy the products we sell, because half of them they don't understand, right? So, and I went to, I'll tell a quick thing real quick, which makes sense. I went to my doctor yesterday for a physical. I love my doctor for for this reason. Like, one of the things is when she's explaining something to me, she makes sure I understand, right? And she talks to me like a person. She doesn't speak in medical terms. She talks to me like a person and gives me practical examples. And then she'll say to me, I recommend this. What do you think? Right. So we talked about basically, if a medication, if you're going through something or whatever it is, I recommend you do this. I recommend you do that. And it's not just you're going to this, you're going to do that, or I'm just giving you this, I'm giving you that. You have to do this. It's she talks to me, tries to get me to understand what's going on. And I know when I talk to her that she's actually concerned, and she actually cares. She will bring up something we've talked about in the past. She works that in. Maybe she's just a great salesman and gets me to buy into everything, that she says, because I rarely say no because I trust her. Right. I know, like, and trust her. And
Yeah.
but and that's the same thing with how we do business with our clients, right? And what we present to them, we talked about the branding, we talk about marketing. What we present to them should be who we are, and whether that is who we are as a person or who we are as a company, that or the combination of two, that should be what our clients are getting, or what our potential clients are getting when we market to them. So maybe we beat this to a dead horse, and we should probably leave it alone until we bring someone on who really knows what they're talking about. But
The only thing I will add is no horses were harmed during this podcast, in case PETA is listening. But yes, I agree. We should bring some special marketing, special subject matter experts, which I know a lot of people hate that term of the SMEs, but we do have a few of them. Just spoke
Mhm.
with Matt Rodella. He will be coming back on the show here soon. We're working on getting a couple other people. We just spoke about Tahir. We'll try and get Paul Green on. I know we've been talking a little bit back and forth. Him in the UK makes it a little bit difficult to record some things, but we'll make sure we get it early enough for him to pop on. And then we got a couple others that some of my old contacts that you all may know from my computer business marketing days with Mr. Matt Rodella will be making the return, talking about things like Google My Business, LinkedIn, and things of that nature. So I got those all in process right now, and you should see more of those as we kind of come out of the month of March into spring when we kick it off in April.
And I will put out this call as well. We talk about subject matter experts in the marketing field. That will be more so. We'll have those people on Resource Thursday. But for a Tech Talk Tuesday, if there are MSPs out here who are doing something unique in their marketing or have a different perspective than what Paco and I have given, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you on the show, or send us in an email or comment on how you're doing things. Hey, I think you guys are totally right, or you're totally off the mark, or somewhere in the middle. Whatever your thoughts are, or if you got some ideas, please share them with us. Because again, the only thing we have monopoly on, well, actually, we have a monopoly on nothing. But anyway, but the only thing we have monopoly on is knowing that we don't know everything, and that's just it. So, again, and I one thing I'm learning is no idea is stupid. Some just work, and some just don't. Some just are a waste, but they're not stupid. If so if you have an
Yep.
idea, please run it by us and come on and share. We'd love to have that.
And share your journey with us here today.
Okay, Paco. Again, we won't use the dead horse, the dead horse analogy, but I think we've given a enough feedback on this here, and I think we will be looking to call it a show, an episode. But again, the last time I'm going to continue to give credit where credit is due. So yes, Tahir, we are stealing your challenge of the week. We call it a call to action. But so we basically taken your marketing, made it personal for us, and changed it to call it, our call to action, our CTA for the week. And that is for everyone to take a look at your marketing, take a deep dive into whatever you're doing for marketing, and make sure that it is authentic, and it is truly representative of you as a company and as a person, and that you're the people you do business with can rely on that being your words. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Paco,
I
any
think those
final
are great
words?
words. No, I think you said it well, my friend. I think that, everyone's trying, just a squirrel in this world trying to find a nut. And I think it's a good opportunity for everybody to learn, pick up some things, and learn from each other. I think by the time this airs, next week will be CompTIA's CCF. For those that are going in Chicago, I will be there. Would love to see all you there. If I even said that properly. So any of the MSP Unplugged gang is going to be there. Definitely shoot me a note. We'll love to get you all together. Maybe do a little powwow on Monday night, or during the day on Wednesday, depending on how that all works. Unfortunately, I can't stick around on Tuesday. I got Blackhawk tickets, so I'll be going on a double shenanigans to the United Center that night. But I know that's going to be the big night for CompTIA, and they got a lot of great stuff going on over there. So if you are in the area or you are going to CCF, hit me up. We'll get a little group together and hit one of the Chicago staples that I always like to talk about as well. But I won't tell you what it is until you show up. So hit me up. Other than that, TechConUnplugged.com. Head over to get your early bird tickets. We are officially on the road to Woodbridge, New Jersey for TechCon Unplugged. Back to you, Rick.
The great Woodbridge, New Jersey. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for us this week. We do want to thank you for tuning in. We invite you to tune in every Tuesday and Thursday. You can watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged. It's also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified whenever a new episode is available. If you are one who likes to listen to these on the move, you can take us on your favorite podcatcher app. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. For Paco and I, we'd like to thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.